I don't know why, but the other day, I think weird things sometimes. The other day, I was driving down the road. I was driving down 35, and I started thinking, what if a Tyrannosaurus tried to take a selfie of itself? Like, what the fuck? Like with those short little arms, I was like, I could never do it. Like a Tyrannosaurus with a phone trying to take a picture of itself would be like the dumbest thing in the world. Like, you just get its chest, and like, or like the bottom of its chin, and that's it.
And you say my brain's weird.
And I started laughing. Like, I'm driving down the car by myself, laughing like a lunatic, trying to imagine a Tyrannosaurus taking a selfie.
I think it'd be funnier even imagine, like, because you said you were driving, imagining a Tyrannosaurus' car. The steering wheel would be way up here. So you'd have to drive like this.
You'd have to have like a bulbed out windshield for its fucking nose.
He could probably take dick pics still, though. Like,
yeah, probably. It's a good angle. Go down.
I don't know how large dinosaurs were.
They were packing.
Were they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what's crazy? Here's another crazy thing about. When we first moved into this office into Stage 5, I was the only person at the company who had an electric car.
Yeah. That corner turned fast.
Right? Is that right?
Yeah.
I think so.
It was.
Yeah. It was me. Yeah.
We had a bunch of Priuses, but they didn't really count.
Yeah, but
no, it totally didn't count.
Once gas hit $10 a gallon, all bets were off.
It was.
I mean, it was just like everyone overnight just switched to electric.
It happens, man.
Yeah.
Even though gas is based on electric, right?
That's what happens when we draw down our presence in the Middle East with our military forces.
So who
Thanks,
wins?
Obama.
Who wins planet Earth when all the fuel is done?
Next year?
And it's all sun, wind, and water and all that.
Well, the Navy's still.
What does that mean? Who wins?
Which country is best prepared for that outcome?
The Navy's been working on that program to turn seawater into electricity for a long time, like to fuel their own ships. And if that can get to the point where it's usable by everybody, then that'll be fucking amazing.
Is it windier in
spaceships?
The sky?
What's that?
Is it windier in the sky?
Yes, it is.
So why don't they just put
Here we go.
propellers really high?
Here we go.
It's the thing we always deal with where does the cost of making it offset the energy that it will create in its lifetime?
So you mean like a 5-mile tall windmill?
Yeah, like what altitude does the jet stream run? Is that like...
Is it above Everest?
The jet stream?
What's that?
How fast is the jet stream?
It's a couple hundred miles an hour, isn't it?
Just bung a bunch of turbines in it. It'll be brilliant.
Well, because it's got to be a significant speed because it affects air travel. You know, when you're flying east, you go much faster than when you go west.
Look it up. Check this out. Look it up for the podcast.
Your old iPhone?
Yep.
God, I forgot when they were that tiny.
5.
It's like a 5.
I thought it'd be funny. Look at the fucking screen now.
We all used to say how like they'd reach the perfect size and it'd be stupid. And when Samsung started making bigger phones, it was dumb, and everything went that way. It was like the first time Samsung set a trend for Apple, kind of.
Bigger screens?
Because when Apple made the iPhone, there was that picture of all the other phones before iPhones and then all the phones after iPhones.
Yeah,
pretty heavy trend.
I went to use my old phone and the battery died. As soon as I went to use it. All right, that was fun.
How did you break that one?
What's that? You shut the fuck up. He's gonna bring the story up till the day I die. So Gavin, when we were using iPhones, Gavin would always say, "Don't put a case on it," because they spend so much money trying to get as smooth as possible. And he said, "Don't put a case on it because it'll make it shit." I go, "I'm so sick of fucking breaking phones. I'm gonna put a case on my phone." And I even had the case with the credit cards in it. So one time, it might have been when we were at the end of the old studio.
Yeah,
so it was like right at the end.
Right at the move.
Yeah, because that's when I switched over. I had to buy a 5S right before the fucking generation ran out, and I was so pissed about it. But my case had gotten so fucked up, and then I went to go switch the cases. And when I went to switch the cases, I dropped my phone and shattered it.
Awesome. Did you just like picture Gavin in your head smiling and laughing?
How
I texted him right away.
Yeah.
You got to own that shit. I
How
texted him straight away.
fucking pissed were you?
Fucking
Where were
pissed.
you? Like, what was the environment? Was there anyone around? Were you screaming, or was it like silent rage?
Yeah, I was. My girlfriend was around, and she was like, you know, when you're like that mad rage. She was around, and I was like so. That she was apologizing. I was like, this is just me being a baby. It has nothing to do with you. And she's like, oh, I know, but I'm just sorry. That's really ridiculous.
I'll say, like, that's even a real life thing, you know? Like, you broke your phone. That's actually going to cost you money, and it's like, that sucks, whatever.
That's what plagues me.
Yeah.
A 2-second mistake that's going to cost me $400.
Yeah, that sucks. And I get the, girlfriend saying, oh, that's terrible. What fucking drives me nuts is, especially with Lindsay, and she did this a lot when we were first dating, I'd be playing video games, and I tend to yell at them. I die, it's like, motherfucker, and then you move on, whatever. I've been doing it my whole life. I'll be playing, and I'm just like, fuck. And then she comes in, and she's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like, shut up. I'm fine. Shut up. And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry you died. And it just like makes me feel like more of a fucking loser. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. She's like, it's like heckling me. It's not like heckling, but it's like, I'm sorry you suck. I'm sorry. And it's like, I'll beat it. Just leave me alone.
It's weird to hear him yell, isn't it?
Yeah.
He used to be like he's had like a whole angry persona before.
Marriage has really mellowed you out.
Well,
How is Mrs. Jones?
she's all right.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't yell fucking screaming.
I don't yell it. I still say it.
How's the dog?
Dog's all right.
How's Taylor?
Not named Taylor. I don't know when you're going to drop this.
I swear to God, till the day you die, you can refer to that dog as Taylor. It's like when
Yeah.
you refer to your cat as Lloyd.
He
You
tried
cannot
Tried everybody's.
He tried to get us to name our kid that may or may not be on the way soon, Taylor. I said it's not happening. He tried to get the dog. He offered, I don't even remember what it was like 2-3 years ago. It was almost as old as the Taylor Jones joke. I can't remember what you offered at the time, like 5 or 10 grand.
$5
And then dog came around, no $5 came around. But Gavin just decided to call him Taylor for free. So you did not buy the right to that dog, Gavin.
You did save a lot of money that
You
way,
got to
though.
pay to play, okay?
Comes Taylor Jones.
It's not Taylor Jones. Every fucking time he comes over, here comes Taylor Jones. And at this point, the fucking dog comes running now. Like he knows it's his nickname.
Yeah.
You know, when I was growing up, I grew up across the street from an Argentinian family, and they had
Congratulations.
thanks, dude. They had a Spitz, which is one of those white dogs, all white dogs, and their dad didn't speak English, and he said the dog's name was Coley. He said, "Coley, buy a casina," and the dog like left and went. I go, "What'd your dad say to the dog?" He said, "He told him to go in the kitchen, buy a casina." Am I saying it right? Buy a
Close enough.
I thought you
Yeah.
were saying buy a casino. So.
casino.
Yeah.
And
Go and
the dog
invest.
went in the kitchen. I was fucking amazed that the dog could speak Spanish. As a kid, I was like, I was like, your dog.
Whoa.
Your dog's
I
bilingual.
was going to say that.
I was fucking amazed.
It was like my parents' house was built in the early 20th century. I think it was like 1910 or something like that. And my mother was on the first aid squad, and they had like
You said first aid squad.
first aid squad. That's what we called
Did
it.
they have like
Talk about that all the
uniforms and
time.
a
we
cape?
called it.
What the hell's a first
That's
aid
what it's called.
squad?
When you call 911, that's who shows up.
At the paramedics?
Yeah, paramedics.
I've
work at
never
a
heard.
first
You
aid
must
squad.
talk about this at Achievement
First
Hunter.
aid squad. It sounds like something you do in Cub
Yeah,
Scouts.
first aid squad. No, like
Ooh,
EMS,
recovery position.
EMT, emergency medical technicians.
Okay,
So
that-
anyway,
I thought he said first date squad.
nope, they're the people that make sure you don't die.
Do you have
when
the
call
recovery
911.
position in this country?
What? What is that?
When if someone's mullered on the road or something, you meant to put them in a position that is.
What do you do? Just grab their neck and shake it? Is that what you do?
Here's what I
Okay,
do if
you
I
fi-
find somebody mullered.
Yeah.
I clear their airway. That's it.
But
Yeah.
wait, how do you leave them? If say there's 3 people
I don't,
on the street.
'cause I'm a
They're
kind
supposed to be
American.
3
They're
people on the
supposed to be
street.
laid flat and don't fuck with their neck.
No,
You open their
no,
their
you
airway.
lie them on their side.
Would you
I think that-
like
I
not
think
for
that's
no reason?
That's for drunk people, Gavin.
No,
This
it's
guy's
just
in a
the
car accident. Let
generic
me open his
recovery.
airway.
It's the generic recovery position where
Guys in diabetic coma. Open the airway. All better.
you mean like rest their head on their hand and then like put one of their legs like this. and
That's
then
fucking
Then you
weird.
take
That's
a
not
photo.
true at all. That's not true at all.
You tickle the asshole.
Anyway,
I don't know. You're the one making shit up.
fucking
the recovery position.
I love the idea of going down the road and I see a body on the road. It's like this.
Pose that guy and take a
I
picture.
was like, oh, he's fine.
Yeah, he
Somebody's
was
on-
mullered. Now he's in the recovery position.
Somebody's taking care of that dude.
But anyway, there was people
Sorry.
involved in the first aid squad for like 50 years, and it's all like generation shit. Like my father's father was here.
family squad.
No, it's kind of how it works. Same thing with fire departments. It goes to the family first. It's fucking hard to like
Fucking
get
old
into the
school
fire
East
department.
Coast, dude.
Yeah.
Those are good gigs.
Yeah, so it's absolutely true. So anyway,
It's very true.
Somebody comes up to us one day and they're like, "I found this article about your house. It's your address where you live." Like to my mother, and they give it to her, and it's from like 1924 or something, with a guy that hung himself in our basement on Christmas Eve. Like, yeah, and they actually printed out the newspaper clipping and gave it to us. And my mother, loving ghost stories and shit like that, is like, "That's amazing," and she puts a fucking magnet on it and puts it on the fridge.
Ah, like next to your art project.
Yeah.
What, at that point, did she like get a dummy and hang it in the basement and like put
Yeah,
the
it's
news
like-
article next to it? Like, this is where it happened.
Put a sign out front,
Was the
50
beam-
cents.
Was the beam still there that he hung himself?
I don't know. I don't know the exact beam.
Probably.
It was kind of odd though, because our basement ceiling is
That
like
twisted
5
brain.
feet tall. It's like
You
5.5
were right to
feet.
that.
So
One short
people
motherfucker.
were shorter back then.
Yeah.
I was annoyed.
Let's say the beam was there. What would that do to you, Gavin? Why'd you ask that question? What if the beam was there?
Because it's an object that killed someone.
Oh,
wasn't
Well, the rope killed him,
Yeah.
actually.
You got to tie the rope to something.
Right, but the rope still killed him.
Well, we're getting
the
to the
beam didn't strangle him to
debate
death.
here.
I was annoyed when I went back to my old house.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I did the giant balloon slow-mo
Yeah.
video? I stood right when I moved. I stood on that spot and took a picture. I was like, "Oh, this is the last time I'll stand here." I went back like 3 weeks later to get something, and they cut the tree down that I jumped out of. Like it's just like obliterated it, so it doesn't look anything the same now.
That annoyed you?
Good thing you took a photo.
Yeah, I wanted to go back there in like 20
So
years and do
that
it.
annoyed you, but you didn't give a shit when we moved out of the old 636 studio. You're like, I'm never going back. This is counterintuitive to the Gavin Free methodology.
Yeah, it's just cool. It's like a spot. It's like a famous piece of
Another
ground.
inconsistency. You were moving out of there, and you were tweeting about it. Is that the word? Tweeting about it at the time.
That's the word.
I forgot it. You were talking about it, and I messaged you, and I gave you like a little like, "Hey, everything's gonna be okay."
I thought you were taking the piss.
He thought I was taking the piss, and he comes back at me with like, "Yeah, whatever, pansy." And I was like, well, "Okay, sorry." And here you are. You actually felt bad.
You're fucking sentimental about it,
No,
and
no,
you
no.
always say you're never sentimental about that shit.
I was just
Gavin's
like,
bullshit.
I can't stand by that in 20 years. But no, but you were at the lamest little sentence. It was like, a house is only a home if you're in it or
people
some
people
crap.
still send me like their own like mock-ups of that. It's the only fan art I get that's cross-stitch. It's like, oh.
hang it up in the bathroom for your grandkids.
A house
Just like
is
get a creepy
only...
kid to hold it in front of your house and take a black and white photo on
I put it
TikTok
on
and
the
stuff.
fridge next to the murder report.
So you're saying you were genuinely serious about that message you
I
sent me?
was genuinely
I
serious
feel
about
bad
it.
now. I didn't
it's
know.
probably on that phone
Gavin
right
feels
there.
bad years and years later.
He should, because now he actually did feel bad. At first I thought you were like, get out of here.
Okay, loser.
So you did the right thing. Maybe you comforted him so much that he was okay with it.
I'm glad they cut that tree down. Now nobody else can jump out of that tree and pop a water balloon and get what are you up to now? 125 million views?
Yeah.
That's insane.
exactly right.
No, it's not that many. When do you think Wi-Fi is going to kill us all?
Oh,
do you mean?
It will.
Just
There's-
like cancer and stuff.
Yeah. I always say it's like when you
You
watch
before
people
me.
when you watch
I'll
people in the
tough it out.
50s and you saw people in the 50s in the clubs and they're all smoking. They all knew it was bad.
Did
you
they,
know? They're breathing smoke. Everybody knew it was bad.
Yeah, but we eat hamburgers.
right, exactly.
Yeah, but
exactly. And we
to
know,
be fair, we don't eat hamburgers like this. If you do it wrong, it's just like
and also, every
choke
time
on
somebody
hamburger.
every time somebody eats a hamburger next to you, if they were like putting something in your
whoa,
mouth,
The secondhand burger, man. Secondhand burger causes cancer. It's been proven definitively.
Like you walk into a room and everyone's doing it, and it's like, oh, I'm a vegetarian.
You gotta pass a law. We got our hamburger section and our no hamburger section in the
Do you think
restaurant.
they'll ever put no hamburgers on flights?
I think it's the same
it's
level.
like a burger with a fucking circle and a cross through it.
Yeah.
They
This
have
is
the same
2050s.
awareness.
No hamburgers on flights.
of smoking the way we have awareness that cell phones and wireless are bad for us. Like you know it, but
Yeah.
you're like,
It's like,
but it's probably
if
okay.
it takes a couple years off your life, does it increase the quality of your life, the years you're
Absolutely.
alive, in order to offset
Absolutely.
that, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to live 3 years less, but the years I'm alive, fucking awesome.
I'll die a couple years earlier
When I-
for convenience.
when I was-
Absolutely.
When I was at school, I absolutely believed, because someone told me, that every time you burped, it took 3 seconds off your life. And
What was the logic of that?
did you not have that? It was like a...
Never
your
heard
soul-
that.
Did you not
letting
have
your-
that?
No,
Did you
Never.
not grow
Soul
up
out.
thinking that
No.
well
In
into your
tiny
20s?
I didn't.
Yeah, but I
No.
used to still do it anyway. I was like...
We
3
also
seconds
have
is-
gnomes living in our stomach that made
Holy
us ill.
crap.
Would a long burp let more of your life out? Like if you like really extended the burp, was it like, oh shit, that
that
was
was a
dirty.
Do people like stand up and they're just like, dude, stop.
Go
If you see
easy.
an old dude, but be like, dude, chill the fuck out.
Somebody cover his mouth.
Like,
Get that burp air back in him.
a really long burp would like age you visibly as you were doing it. Like when a rogue gets that white streak through her hair and X-Men.
You start getting wrinkles on
What
your
if like
face.
you wanted to fight it? What if you like burped into a Ziploc and then re-inhaled all of the
Oh,
air?
gross, dude.
What's it gross?
That's so gross. What do you mean? How is that
You're
gross?
catching your life back.
It's gross by what you just said.
It's grosser if I burp and then you inhale it, which is what happens typically.
You know how-
Yeah, there you go. How do you like that? That hamburger I ate the other day, you're smelling it now.
Oh god, that's
You know how? You know how honey doesn't spoil? It's like one of the things that doesn't spoil.
I haven't heard that in years.
Can you burp? Like, does a burp spoil? Like, if you burped into a bag,
Yes.
like the smell bits in the bag, would they go bad?
Yeah.
you
That
okay?
hoodie's been back there for 5 years now, right?
Well, people
Something
keep,
like that.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think
Because
a
like,
burp
a smell
starts off bad.
A smell is pieces of little small stuff, right, in the
Yes.
air.
Go on.
Still
So that
particles.
must go bad. So a burp in a bag must get mold.
I mean, try it.
Does it get mold? I don't know if it gets mold.
You know, I think I did that back in 2014.
So you burped in
In
a bag,
2014, I
and you
burped-
don't fucking remember if you
I
did it or
burped
not?
in a bag in 2014, and I still have it.
He
Really?
thinks
You should
he
bring it in, and we should open it next podcast.
You should brought it now. It's 350.
Yeah, he should have.
I
But
didn't think we were going to randomly talk about it today.
podcast 351 next week. We're opening a bag that Gavin burped in 2014.
All right,
we're gonna
2014.
find out definitively whether
It
or
was,
not burps go bad.
It was around the time we moved. It was actually, I think, like one of the last things I did in the old building was burp in a bag.
You burped in a bag. See ya, 636.
And then you left. Like on the last awu.
Well, I was
had a-
disappointed that I didn't really have much stuff to move, so I moved a bag of burp.
A bag of burp.
I had a comment.
Put one of those stickers on
a
it.
story that I don't think we've mentioned. You reminded me earlier, like double. You mentioned something about diabetic, and I see you're wearing that fucking wristband from Evolve.
Yeah.
Remember the first time
Remember
we
that
played
game,
that?
Evolve? Yeah.
Remember that we played that at
Yeah, I can't wait for Evolve 2.
what was it?
So
It was,
excited.
We played that at PAX
Evolver.
East.
Did you play the DLC?
Evolved.
Shut up, Gavin.
Sorry. Tell the
We
story.
played that at PAX East last year, but while we were there,
2 years ago.
was it?
2014, wasn't it? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That was
it was
last year.
Last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
Year and a half, whatever.
Whatever.
Okay.
Fucking
It wasn't Pride.
God
Shut
damn it.
the fuck up. So anyway, at that PAX, we had the booth and we were signing tons of shit, and Ray was like to my left signing
do you
stuff.
remember that?
Just because. Let me get to it, okay? It's something you fucking remember.
Trigger.
Okay, so Ray's to my left, and I just hear like a commotion going on about him going, "Ooh!" Like he's like, "I don't want to murder anybody. I'm sorry, I almost murdered a fan." This and that, and I'm just like signing a million things and taking pictures, and I don't know what the hell's going on. I didn't know because we were making tons of videos for people and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck Ray's doing. So there's like a commotion that goes on, and then a minute later, the kid he was talking to comes over to me, and he's like, "Hey, can you sign this for me?" And he pulls this little clip off his this belt clip, and it was like the size of a beeper, right? And he pulls it off and he hands it to me, and I'm like, "Oh yeah," and I grab it and pull it, and he's like, "Ugh." And I was like, "Whoa. Oh God!" It's like a fucking insulin pump
Yeah.
that regulates it and automatically injects into him, and it's connected to a tube that's fucking plugged into him. Ray grabbed it and like yanked the kid like fucking scorpion
was the
across
thing,
the
'cause
table.
like
He was like,
Scorpion.
"Get over here!"
That was the thing
and
first.
the kid literally was like, "Ah!" Like I was like, "Oh God, no!"
You
Ray
think if you're a
signed it.
kid, you would warn someone like, "Don't
Yeah.
pull on this too
He
hard.
just-
This
he
is
just
attached
whips
to
it
my
out and,
body."
like hands it to us, and we're like, "Oh yeah, sure," because everybody,
Yoink.
like if you don't take the people don't take their badges off, they're usually wearing them on like the lanyards,
Lanyard.
and they just hand them to you, and you kind of pull them towards you. So I kind of just pulled it towards me, and he's like, "Oh, let's connect into me."
Thank God you didn't do that prank where you pretend to run away with it.
Yeah. So then I'm like, "Oh God," I'm
You went away
signing
with a
it,
spleen.
and he's got, there's really just the front and the back, and the top and the bottom are super thin again because it's like a beeper. And I'm looking at it. So Ray had signed it, and I think Gavin had signed
Well,
it
that
at
was
that
the
point.
thing. Ray signed it first,
Yeah.
and he yanked it to the point where it sprung back and hit him in the stomach. He was like, "Dong!" And he was like, "Oh, it's my insulin." And I was like, "Oh!" And then he passed it to me. I was like, "I'm not touching it. You hold it. I'll sign it." And then I was like, "Michael, be careful," because Michael's after me.
Totally missed
and then
all
Michael
that.
goes, "Yep."
Yep, totally yanked that kid. I'm sorry to his family if he didn't make it past PAX 2014.
Yeah, he didn't make
PAX
it to
East.
2015.
But so I go to sign it, and there's not a lot of space on it. So I'm just like, again, now I'm scared shitless. Like, okay, I don't want to kill you. So here, and I go to sign. He's like, "No, not on the barcode. Don't sign on the barcode." And I'm just like, "Oh!" And I'm just like throwing it. Like, where am I?
What the fuck is this kid thinking?
I don't
Why
know.
wouldn't he explain this ahead of time?
I'm just like, he's just like, "Dude, I'm fucked. If you sign that part, I am fucked. I'm fucked." And I was just like, I'm gonna put it right over there, and there you go. Okay.
Why would you get this thing signed? Okay, this
I
is
don't know.
something
I don't
that's
know.
attached to your body.
Yup.
If someone touches
be
the wrong part of
inside.
it, you're fucked. It's
think-
like, yo, here, just take this.
I can't remember who said it. I think it was Gavin at the time. It was Gavin or Ray. I think it was Gavin. And he's like, "This kid's gonna like fucking have a medical alert one day and be in distress and like collapse, and someone's gonna find it and think it's like his emergency contact. Like, we have to call Michael, Gavin, and Ray,
but before
and
we-
they all have hearts on them. I
Before
don't
we
know
call
why.
them, let's put him in the recovery position.
Exactly.
Put his hand under his head.
Bend him over.
Hello. Yes. Michael. I need to speak to somebody named Rage Quit.
We put him in
that
the
was a long
recovery
time ago.
position. Don't worry, he's gonna be okay.
Ugh.
I gotta be
I'm
really
sorry,
selfish.
kid. I'm sorry.
I'm really selfish as well. The reason I didn't want to touch it wasn't because I didn't want to hurt him, just because it's kind of gross. Just didn't want to.
It's
A piece of
medical
electronic
thing.
that's outside
Medical
you.
equipment
It's not
is
that
so
gross.
gross.
medical
Wasn't
thing.
gross.
Well, Gus won't sign shoes. I sign shoes, and Gus won't do it.
I do
Pick
not.
up
find
I
Piss
it.
would
on-
totally agree
Some
that
shoes are covered in piss.
sneakers are not nearly as gross as a piece of plastic that you wear in your belt.
Yeah, it's not directly in him.
Yeah,
It's
not like
attached
he
like
was
there's a tube going in him though.
But where does it go into?
I don't
guess
know.
it's-
I saw the tube like go into his shirt, and I was just like,
Is
ooh,
it like, if it's an insulin regulator, does it like attach to his pancreas
Is it pancreas or is it
or liver?
blood? Yeah, I mean, or does it just go? Does it like when somebody gets this insulin shot, they just do it in their leg or their butt, right?
Right.
They don't go into their veins. It's not intravenous.
Right, but I mean, this obviously is like a level above the injection.
Yeah.
yeah, like he was clearly boned.
Does it monitor? Like, does it monitor as well? Does it?
Yeah,
is it also actively monitoring?
I
and
think so.
adjust-
I think it was like an automatic like injector pump.
Yeah, you're
where
right. It
it's-
probably just goes in
where
the
it's
blood
just
then.
like, oh, you suck.
Oh, getting
Your body's
yanked on.
sucking.
So it'd be cool if someone yanked on your IV bag, just like yank like that.
That happened in that James Bond movie.
God, tubes inside you and other people pulling on the other side is not. Dude, can you
The whole
imagine
thing's
somebody
a
like
nightmare.
yanking on a catheter, just like fiddling with the other end?
No, I can't. Thank you for bringing that up. And that's not the
probably
noise I
the
would be
noise it
making.
makes.
That's the noise I make while I do it.
Man,